Hello, I'm Audrey of the Alexandrite system. I have returned to once again film a video to discuss a topic that is relevant to me. That topic is knowing things about the system. When the others first found me, there was an assumption about them that for some reason I would know more about the inner workings of the system, that I would know how things worked, and I would maybe even be able to control switches or perhaps build things in the inner world, or that I would simply know every area of our inner world. None of those things are true. So in the early months, when Sandra or Claudia would come up to me and say, Audrey, do you know this person in the system we just contacted? Or do you know if there is any way to build this aspect of the inner world? For a long time, I would make something up. When you are put in a position where you have to be the adult in the room, as I often do, being the oldest in the system and I suppose one of the more mature, being vulnerable and saying you don't know something is often not helpful. And when your entire job is helping, it can be counterproductive. So at the time, I felt that making something up was the best option for us. So when Sandra would come up to me and say, Audrey, when we were first experimenting with gender, we used this particular name a lot. Does that correspond to someone in the system that I don't know yet? What I should have said was, I don't know. What I actually said was, she's trying to decide whether she exists or not, which was unhelpful and cryptic and confusing, which I apologize for. This ended up being similar to a problem that I had in therapy, where if the others were around during my session and I was unable to block them out, I couldn't let go. If the others were around, I couldn't be vulnerable, because when I started to get vulnerable, when I started to get emotional about something, the others would get nervous. No one knows what to do when mom cries. In an attempt to heal, I have begun being more vulnerable. I've begun trying to ask the other adults in the system for help when I need it, not burdening them with my problems, because that is something that I draw the line at, but asking for assistance managing the others and saying that I don't know things sometimes. In the interest of saying when I don't know things, here are the many things we still do not know about our system. We do not know every member of our system. There are still large blind spots, and I do not know where those blind spots are, who they are. There was a point where I was asked how many people there were in the system, and I responded with 15, which is our current number. That number wasn't completely made up. It was a judgment call based on people I felt around but didn't know. But past those, I can only infer that there are maybe one or two that I can feel, but I don't know. I do not know how building things works in our inner world. I do not know why sometimes we can switch and sometimes we cannot. I do not know if my current inner world image is how I've always looked, or if it was manufactured when I was first brought into awareness of the system. We do not know several points when people split off. We don't know the point where anyone split off, most likely. We have vague guesses, but nothing very concrete. I do not know who our core is or was, or if they are still around, and I do not always know the best way to handle inter-system conflicts. I can only parent as well as I have learned. Previously, this meant putting people in timeouts when they got too upset or there was too great of a conflict. Not locking them away, but giving them a sit down with me to discuss what's wrong, but away from the others. However, I still imagine this created a great deal of shame, which is something we are collectively trying to unlearn. So the dual purpose of this video is to let you all know it is okay to not know things. Plurality tends to be rather well hidden. We have a certain theory that to some degree no system is supposed to ever know about the system, and that those of us who have figured it out are outliers. But again, this is merely a theory. The important thing when learning is to keep an open mind, and I encourage you all to do that. The answers may come, the answers may not come, but the self-exploration is invaluable regardless. Thank you for watching. I encourage you to subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, and to like the video. I hope you all have a wonderful day.